Hello everyone, this is Jody Orange, and today I'm going to be playing Catapults. It's been a long time since I got to play these guys. It's been fucking really long. I have waited and waited because I made the mistake of fucking leveling javelins first instead of just cutting down to catapults at the lower tiers. I thought I'll go up to the higher tiers and now cut across the catapults. And I've got to say, the javelins deserve to be able to cut across to the cavalry at tier 7 and to the catapults at tier 6 because they're fucking useless, man. Maybe some people like them. Maybe I shouldn't shit all over them yet, but I'm pretty sure Kanani's just there going,
anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Oh, you can.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
because when it even comes to shooting at heavier infantry, etc., the javelins don't actually do that much better. While they do have more armor pen, they actually have less damage. If you look it up, I think archers at tier 6 are 157 while the javelins are 144. So they're worse against lighter units, and with barrage they're not any better against heavy units. It's just, and they get blocks. This is one thing that really fucks me off about javelins. So you're meant to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be killing all these heavy infantry, etc. And then they go into test shooter or raise their shields. It's like, oh, I guess I'm not killing him today, I better run away. And then any other commander can pretty much chase you down. Well, at least the tier 6 javelins, because the cunts don't even have a fucking boots. They're running around barefoot, and they don't have armor. They're running around with no fucking armor, they got bare feet. Why aren't they barbarians? And how does this happen? It's the only fucking unit at that tier. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look this fucking up. I'm looking it up. Yeah, so it's the only unit, well, it's the unit with the least amount of upgrades. It's the biggest piece of shit. Even dogs have their bone. Dogs have a fucking bone. These cunts can't even get shoes. But let's get back into the game. I'm playing catapults, not javelins, so let's talk about catapults. This is a very good place to shoot at because the caltraps are down there, so that unit will get slowed. So if I manage to get my smoke on top of them, it will do a great deal of damage. As you can see, that smoke I shot earlier into the back of that unit engaged is doing very well. And that's what you want to do with Caesar. Mainly because he has that Vini Vici, whichever fuck up, you know, the one that improves your aim. You use that one, and then you can shoot in the combat very safely. And with catapults, you want to be shooting at all times. You have the range to do it, so use it. That sounds so fucking cheesy, but I'm sticking with it. And when it comes to choosing who to shoot at, I do like to take out the range first and then move on to taking out the infantry. I just find that it helps my team a lot more. And one thing to remember is I was using smoke and now I'm using normal ammunition. When you change ammunition, it does reset the time that you can shoot. So if you change, it goes back down to 0%. You have to wait for it to build up to 100% again. So a better idea is just to shoot your normal ammo first, then change over the smoke. And when you change out of smoke, hopefully there's something in range and then you can change back to normal ammo. Rinse and repeat. Just something to keep in mind when you are playing catapults. It's all about being as time efficient as possible. Of course, you don't have to change ammo all the time, but when you are going to change ammo, you want to get that shot off first before changing. Mainly because, especially when solo queuing, it does feel like your catapults are on a bit of a timer. They have a certain amount of time to get all that damage out before the enemy is swarming them. So you want to just keep shooting 24/7 until they get right up in your face, and that's when your heavy infantry gets in there and starts kicking ass. And they do kick ass. And when it comes to choosing which type of infantry you want protecting you, between the medium and the heavies, definitely the heavies. The main reason being is they can kick pretty much everyone else's ass. There's nothing that can really stand against them, especially when you do have the catapults they're using Divide and Conquer. Or should I say Vici? I think they changed the fucking name of it, it's Vici now. And you can surprise the pikes very well. They can't even stand a chance against the heavies when you have your catapult dudes there doing Divide and Conquer. Because they can't put their pikes down. And for some reason they don't see it coming. They never see it coming. They're just like, oh, I'll go in there. I've got to pike all these people. Next minute, they're silenced. Now, at this stage of the game, I probably should have run away with the catapults, but I thought I'll just get those extra shots in. Send the heavies in, they'll probably do pretty damn well. So, yeah, I wasn't too fucking worried about it. I did want to keep the catapult crew near my heavies so they could use their buffs and debuffs. Unfortunately, I do have Hunt on me, or some bullshit. Now, this is pretty much the end of the game. It's basically my heavy infantry being heavy infantry and just tanking cunts and killing people. And my catapults just getting fucking shot to shit. But they are buffing my troops. They are buffing my heavy infantry, so the enemy can't use his anvil in this situation here, because I do have those crew running around. And I've got to say, my heavy infantry in some games has done just amazing amounts of damage. And even though my catapult, like, I'll get rushed sometimes. Well, you will figure it out when you play catapults. You get rushed sometimes. And since I do have that heavy infantry, I can still usually push out a lot of damage, even when the enemy is right on top of me. And at the moment, I did try to use my artillery crew to get the rear attack on those pikes. Don't do that. This is a game I figured out that doesn't fucking work at all. Those guys, they were facing the other direction, and they smacked the shit out of me. Catapult crew just can't do that. So yeah, I was actually surprised because they can melee archers pretty damn well. That's happened a few times where I got to melee some archers. The crew does pretty damn good. But then when it comes to melee pikes in the back, don't do it. He just fucked me up. Hitting for 100 when he wasn't even looking at me. How embarrassing is that? Can you imagine that shit? You try to hit some dude in the back of the head and then his arms just flop. Well, he's holding a big fuck. How the fuck? He must have kicked me. He's facing the other direction with a big stick. He's just like back kicking like a fucking horse. The cunt's strong as shit. I don't even know how they managed to do that with a big stick in their hands. He's got this fucking long ass pole. He's kicking backwards. Hitting me for 160. So it's not even just a normal fucking kick. It's a power kick while holding a giant fucking pike. I swear, those pike cunts must be related to Zeus. They're all Hercules. There wasn't one Hercules, that's why there's so many Hercules stories. There's a fucking bunch of them. And they're all pikes. They're all pikemen. But let's get back to talking about catapults. So far, I find them one of the most reliable units. If you don't count the Greek faction, they are the most reliable unit. They did receive a nerf a fair while ago, and I've heard that people aren't enjoying the state that catapults are in. I'm fine with that, because if they get buffed, fuck, I'm doing pretty well with, like, most games. You pretty much, your bad games, you get 2,000 damage. Your good games are usually around 4,000, 3,500 to 4,000. So you're not doing like insane amounts, but the reliability, every game, you're getting a decent amount of damage output. And that's at tier 6. I think at lower tiers, it will be a lot harder because they don't have the aiming of the higher tiers. The higher tiers are more accurate. Why didn't I just use that fucking word instead of aiming? You're more accurate at higher tiers. Once you get to tier 6, your accuracy is so on point. Their catapults are fucking amazing. At lower tiers, I can imagine... I haven't actually played them, so I can imagine they wouldn't be as good. Using my fucking imagination. Yeah, that's me singing. I'm gonna try out for Australian Idol. I got imagination. I wanted to get into one of those cringe compilations and possibly get into the first week of Idol where they just show all the cunts that can't sing. They're like, look at this fuckhead. I'm surprised no one... Well, I guess they make you sign something, so you have to agree that you're willing to be on TV. But how do you even end up there? Some of these singers, how the fuck do they end up there? Someone must have... You know, they always say, my friends say I can sing. Man, if I had a mate who was so shit at singing, and then he goes, I'm going to try out for Australian Idol, I'll say, don't do it. I'm that sort of mate. I'll be fucking honest with you. I don't want you to embarrass yourself on fucking TV. I would say, cunt, you can't sing, right? Don't go on fucking Australian Idol, embarrass yourself. But it always makes me wonder, who are these friends that are there telling this cunt who can't sing that he can't sing? The dudes they're going, oh, can't sing for shit. And his mates are going, well done. That is the greatest singing I've ever seen. You should definitely try out for that competition. I'm pretty sure they're not friends. I'm pretty sure they're just taking the piss out of you. But enough of that. I've got to say, when it comes back to the catapult thing, right? Back to the catapult thing. It's a good unit to level up as it is reliable. You're going to do decent amount of damage in 95% of your games. 90%. Let's just give you the shit factor. You might be new at the game. So, let me rephrase it. If you get the basics down for catapults, you're bound to do a decent amount of damage per game. And they don't really care about what tier the enemy is. This is one of the greatest things. Other units really do get affected by what tier they're versing. For example, if you're tier 7 infantry and you're versing tier 9 and tier 10 infantry, you're going to have a rough fucking day. And the same thing for Cav. If you're tier 7 Cav and the enemy has all higher tiers, apart from the ranged units, you're not going to damage them that much. And some games you can find yourself in such a situation where you just can't fucking deal with anything the enemy has. So your score is going to be shithouse. When it comes to catapults though, you're bound to at least hurt the enemy no matter what tier they are, because each boulder hits for so much. Accurate smoke basically hits every unit for the same amount of damage. I think I said this in the last catapult video I made, when they were even stronger than they are now. This is a great unit if you're behind in tiers. If everyone's fucking, you're just facing higher tiers all the time, this is a unit you want to be. Which, as you know, I just changed factions, so I was at the lower tier for the last, who knows how long, I think 2 weeks I've been playing the Romans. I've been the lower tier in pretty much every game. Even when I am in tier 5 and tier 6 games, they usually have higher commander abilities than me. And I have some good games with the infantry, with the cav, and with the javelins. But my best games have been with the catapults, because they don't give a shit about who they're versing. They just fucking nuke it, shoot it, kill it. When it came to the other units, I had to look at them and go, okay, this cunt has a tier 10 vengeance, and my Germanicus has a tier 5 vengeance. So I've lost that, so I can't go into that situation, and there's a lot of things like that that happen when you are leveling up. I've also been playing a lot of Sulla, and the problem I have with him is he's very slow to level up. While he does have the same, I find, in any case, I find that he has the same win ratio as most other commanders. He doesn't get the points the other commanders do get, because he's debuffing the enemy. I like to separate my units and debuff all across the field, but there's not many points in doing that. You don't get support points, a bit iffy. So you'd think you would get lots of support points, basically is what I'm saying. You're standing behind the enemy, debuffing them, helping your allies. You don't actually get many points for that, but it does help your team win. So that's the thing. Sulla is slow to level. He does win games, but he is fucking slow, which is annoying as fuck. I haven't tried the Scorpions out on him yet. He does seem like a Scorpion commander. I thought, well, I used to think that Scorpions are weak as shit. It seems like they have improved their fire arc a bit, so I might try him again. I will have to wait until tier 8 for that, so that might take a fucking while. And yeah, so I have enjoyed the Romans, especially Caesar. I just find that he is the fucking king. Germanicus is great when he's fighting even commanders. He's fucking awesome. But when you're versing higher tiers, it's horrible. It's just really bad. Sulla is fun to play. I find he's fun to play, but if you're trying to level up units, it feels like torture. You're getting no XP per fight. You're winning games, but you're getting no XP. It's just... oh, it's fucking... You're going to stay at the same tier for a long bloody time. In my personal experience anyway. As for Scipio, I have not unlocked him yet. I eventually will get around to unlocking him. I think he'll be pretty fun. I like Millie, and he also has a morale debuff. Well, Scipio also has a morale debuff, so that should be pretty fun. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thumbs up and all that shit, and I'll see you later.